Oh gosh, oh poop, oh frick, there's barely
A week after the new year. Oops.
all I put out are reaction videos. Oh, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? Hey everyone, welcome to Jack's Back of Macca. I am Macca, and welcome to my totally original, not at all stolen concept for a video. I promise you, this video will entirely be unique desires that I personally came up with. You can trust me, I have trademarked the idea of gaming-related wish lists for the year of 2020. Literally no one can ever make a video like this one ever, or I will sue. Even if the video came out before mine, I will sue you. I'm going to sue you into the freaking dirt, okay? Do not make a video like this, even if you made the video before this one released, okay? Especially if you're a blue dinosaur Muppet thingy. Why'd I say dinosaur? Arlo's clearly not a dinosaur. Whatever, let's get going. Super Mario Odyssey is a fantastic game that is ripe for a sequel. One that improves upon the original while adding in brand new kingdoms to explore. The main thing I want? Let me return to a recreation of Isle Delfino alongside a bunch of new areas never seen in a Mario game. One of the biggest problems with the original game is just how meaningless the moons became. Moons in Odyssey don't hold the same level of value to the player as stars. They felt like just another collectible because you were getting them around every single turn for doing honestly pretty mundane and unimportant things. I really want them to tone down the sheer number of moons and just make more challenging and rewarding ones. Mario Odyssey is the perfect example of quantity over quality. Banjo-Kazooie shows you can have a lot of highly valued collectibles while still making the way you go about getting them all non-linear, open, and fairly uninterrupted. So there is a right balance that can be struck. I genuinely feel there's so much potential in the ideas Odyssey brought to the table, and that's the kind of game primed for a sequel a la Mario Galaxy 2. Also, have the final boss battle be Mario throwing Cappy at Bowser, Bowser throwing an evil Cappy at Mario, and then you have to fight Bowser, who is in Mario's body, as Mario in Bowser's body. While the ending of Odyssey is still really cool, I feel like this would have been a much cooler and better ending. And I just really don't want them to abandon the Cappy concept before doing this, because I think this is a huge missed opportunity. Breath of the Wild is a fantastic game. Hell, it's one of my favorite games of all time. However, it has a pretty nothing story, bad dungeons, and bad voice acting.
I thought I made it clear that I'm not in need of an escort.
With a sequel coming, I hope it improves on all three of these aspects. Make it like Majora's Mask, a game with a darker tone and a more interesting story to tell. Which, to be honest, based on the announcement trailer, it does seem to be going in that direction, but I mean, who knows, they could easily turn around and make it just as lighthearted as the original game. Another thing I want is a brand new world to explore. I love the first game, but I don't think I can play it twice. So much of the fun I had came from me experiencing a world I knew nothing about. I could still go into the game and have a blast, but I don't think I'd ever be able to have the same level of fun as I did the first time I set out to explore it. Hi, I love Xenoblade Chronicles. It's my favorite game from this past decade. If you wanted to know, now you know. Anyway, I'm really excited for Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition. You want to know something I hope they fix though? I hope they fix Shulk's face from that reveal trailer, because it looks kind of funky in a few shots. Fiora looks exactly like she does in that one render, but Shulk doesn't really look like he does in that one render, so I hope they make it look like how he does in that one render. Also, fix Ryan's facial expression in this one shot, because in the original game, he looks more pissed, while in this one, he looks more like he's doing that grimace emoji that shows off the teeth, and it's just going... Also, I hope it doesn't alter the plot of the original game too much. They're gonna have to change some things around in order to get it to work better with you-know-what. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. But I really hope they don't alter the plot any more than they have to. I hope we get a brand new Paper Mario game announced next year. It's been about, like 3 or so years since Color Splash, and yeah, that was a game. And I feel like if they were working on a new one, it would be ready to be announced around this time. I don't hate Color Splash. I think it's a good game. I don't hate it like Sticker Star or anything, but it is easily the 4th best game in the Paper Mario series. I can't tell you whether or not the gameplay is going to go back to the original style, but based on what was happening in terms of the backlash, what people were complaining about, what people said they want, as well as what was asked in all the interviews, I definitely think the next Paper Mario game, if we ever get it, is going to have a story focus. Out of everything that people were complaining about and desiring and just saying, like, we want this, I feel like that is what rang the loudest. Pikmin 4. Bayonetta 3. Proof that Retro hasn't been wasting the past 6 or 7 years making projects that would be cancelled, leaving us in limbo for games that would ultimately all be for naught. Considering how Pokemon games are made, I don't think we'll be seeing any immediate response to the complaints people had with the franchise, but I do hope that whatever game they shit out next year to meet the Pokemon Company's yearly release schedule isn't awful. Whether it be a Sinnoh remake or something else, I just hope it's actually worth something to me. I haven't truly enjoyed a Pokemon game like I once did since Black and White 2, and every game since they went over to the 3DS has just been disappointing, so I just want to care again, man. Actually, you know what? I'd prefer it if they just didn't force out another mainline game next year and instead made a new goddamn mystery dungeon game. Holy shit, holy shit, holy shit, holy shit, holy shit, holy shit. Ah! You know what? This feels almost a little too faithful. I don't know. It's still really good, don't get me wrong, but there are certain parts that I feel like were more remake, and I think it's just a bit too accurate. I think I'd be fine with it. You know, it's a $40 game. You know, it'd be like a Crash Insane trilogy or the Spyro Reignited trilogy, or Captain Toad even. You know, I'd just be fine with it. You know, $40 is... God fucking damn it.
Pokemon could enrich our everyday lives even further.
I hope people realize how fucking creepy and dystopian Pokemon Sleep sounds. They're literally gamifying sleep. What the fuck is this cyberpunk ass shit? I don't care what the PR guys at the Pokemon Company say. I don't care if the game is supposed to help improve your sleep schedule. Sleep should not be turned into a fucking game. Let me play every single console PlayStation game ever released on this one system. Not only would it make streaming and recording footage a lot easier, but it would keep me from having to dig out all the old consoles every time I want to play something. Ratchet & Clank is the only remaining 3D platformer from the PS2 era still alive, and even then it's debatable. It's been 3 years since the remake released, and while I like that game, I really want them to make a new one that returns to the original universe. One that doesn't feel as rushed as the remake and feels fully featured. This series is one of my favorite franchises PlayStation has ever made, and I don't want it to die on a game that, while not bad, is pretty underwhelming. I really hope The Last of Us Part 2 doesn't screw up the perfect ending the original game had, and that it just overall justifies its existence. The ending of the first game is perfect. It's just perfect for this story. And I really, really don't want them to go back to these characters and undo that ending just to replace it with something nowhere near as good. I want the PS5 to mark a return to the colorful, more cartoony platformers of the PS2 era. Ever since the PS3, almost every major PlayStation first-party title has been a gritty, realistic, and cinematic action-adventure game. While I still like some of these, I miss back during the PS2 when we had a much healthier balance between the realistic and the cartoony. Whether the PS5 revives franchises like Sly Cooper or Jak and Daxter, or it creates a brand new one from scratch, I'd be happy for Sony to diversify their lineup again. Not everything needs to look like real life. I just want Microsoft to convince me to get an Xbox. Every year, I watch their E3 presentation with the mindset of, make me want an Xbox. And every year I come out going, oh man, those were some cool games. I still don't want an Xbox. I feel like the Xbox sex is the make it or break it point when it comes to the brand as a whole after just how badly they fucked up the Xbox One. Man, I just want Halo Infinite to be good. I really want Yakuza 7 to convince me that the new combat is worth getting rid of the old system. Yakuza is the only series that has expertly transitioned the classic 2D beat-em-up gameplay of things like Double Dragon and River City into 3D, without becoming outright character action games. So to see the franchise abandon it has me concerned. I did try the demo released on Japanese PSN, but the fact that it's a menu-based combat system made me feel like I couldn't get a good impression of what I was playing. I could barely understand what I was even choosing. However, if it does convince me of the new direction, I hope Judgment gets a sequel and continues in the beat-em-up tradition. They clearly want these two to be different series, so why not differentiate them even more? Okay, so half wish, half prediction. I want/think there will be a Sonic Adventure remake. Considering the various remixes of songs from Adventure 1 and 2, the Chows in Space short released at the beginning of December, and the comments made a few years ago by series producer Takashi Iizuka, where he literally stated he was interested in doing a remake of Adventure, I think that is what we'll be getting at the next Sonic game. We're already due for a new 3D Sonic at least getting announced. Not even a year after Sonic Colors did we get Generations. 2 years after that, we got Sonic Lost World, and 3 years after that, Sonic Forces was announced. We've at least known about the next mainline Sonic game within a few years of the last one. Not only do I want a remake of what are some of the most fun Sonic games, I said fun, not best, but I think a remake would be in Sega's best interest to figure out what they should do with the series after they fucked up the boost formula and got shown up by literal fans. Jesus fucking Christ, just give me a new Jet Set Radio, please! I'm super excited for Bravely Default 2, but I hope they aren't just going to abandon the original universe. Bravely 2nd left the door open for a Bravely 3rd with Ring a Bell back in the main party, and it's all I've been wanting for years. Considering how things go in the first two games, I wouldn't be surprised if this new one still connects back to the universe of the original, despite being in a new world with a new cast. I hope Death March Club ends up being the perfect mending of the strengths of Uchikoshi and Kodaka. The engaging and well-developed characters of Kodaka with the incredible stories of Uchi is just all I want from 2Kyo games. I also hope the gameplay clicks with me. While I don't think it looks bad, I'm not sure how I feel about it being a 2D puzzle platformer. Just in case you didn't see my reaction to the new No More Heroes 3 trailer, here's a quick snippet. I really hope this game ends up being the hit Suda51 deserves from both a critical and commercial standpoint. While Travis Strikes Again was middling, No More Heroes 3 looks to be everything fans have been hoping for. Suda has never made perfect games, but I'm hoping he'll be taking feedback from the first two and TSA while making the third mainline game the best game he's ever made. I also hope everything from the goddamn superhero trailer works its way into the game and that the entire thing features all of them because holy fucking shit, that trailer is phenomenal.
I'm a goddamn superhero.
Superhero? You must mean me.
Are you okay?
No More Heroes 3! SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom is one of the best licensed games of all time, so to see it being remade has me incredibly excited. However, I hope the animations end up looking better than the footage we've seen thus far. While the game I'm sure will be great, the animations look much stiffer than the original and just don't flow as well. I also hope that they actually get Clancy Brown to play Mr. Krabs this time and not just reuse the entire original game's voice acting. Whoever the hell played Mr. Krabs in early 2000s SpongeBob games, just
You had me worried there for a bit, boy. Worried for me money, of course.
I don't know who he is, but why didn't you get Clancy Brown? Did he just not want to do it? I feel like he'd do it now. I think he'd be cool with it. I don't know, just please fix this. I really hope Persona 5 Royal ends up justifying being at full price with no upgrade option. While I do agree that it couldn't have simply been DLC, I hate that Atlus is just making the game full price with no option to upgrade the original version at a discounted price. Final Fantasy 15 did this, and while I don't think 15's Royal Edition is anywhere near as hard to implement the new content, I don't see why P5R couldn't do the same upgrade system. I want to see a new game in a series that isn't Persona or Megami Tensei. Whether it be Etrian Odyssey, Trauma Center, Radiant Historia, or any other one of Atlus's long-forgotten series. I want Atlus to be more than just these two franchises and Catherine. Speaking of Catherine, I want a sequel to Catherine. Now, I don't necessarily mean a Catherine 2, but rather I want Catherine to just be the start of a Golden Playhouse franchise. I plan on doing a more proper video about this at some point, so I won't go into too much depth here. What I will say is I think the Golden Playhouse has the ability to host amazing and experimental games that don't just have to be Catherine. It's been 3 years since we were first introduced to Project Refantasy, and Jesus Christ, it's about time we heard something about it. Preferably, I want a trailer that at least shows off the concept for the story and maybe what kind of gameplay it'll have. While I love Atlus's turn-based gameplay, I'd like it if they went for a completely different kind of game with Refantasy. An action game? An adventure game? An action-adventure game? Who knows? The possibilities are endless! Hey guys, this is Jax back at Macca. I am Macca, and I just wanted to thank you for 2019. This year has been amazing for the channel. Not only did the number of subscribers double and then some, but I've met some really great people, some of whom I plan on collaborating with in the future, and some of them I've already collaborated with. I am just so thankful for everything. I haven't hit 1,000 subscribers yet, but I am well on my way. And this feels like just the beginning. This channel has been really going for about 2 years now, and while it's only gotten about 1,000 subscribers in that time, I really feel like this is going to end up being something more in the future. Steam has really picked up recently, and I am just so thankful for every single one of you. Do you guys have any wishes or predictions for 2020? Let me know down in the comments below, and while you're down there, leave a like. Not only does it help the channel, but it just makes me feel good. It makes me feel validated. I'll see you guys next time for whatever the hell it is I come up with in 2020.